Peace, guys. What's going on? It's your girl, Q the astrologer. Be sure to like, subscribe, share with all your friends, all that good stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this video. This is another My Astrocartography experience video, and this time I'm going to be talking to you guys about my experience on my Sun Sextile Ascendant line. Okay, so let me make sure I got that right as I look at the map here. Sun Sextile Ascendant. Yes, Sun Sextile Ascendant. For some reason, I wanted to say the midheaven, but it is the Ascendant. That is the line that I am on. I'm also on my Pluto line as well. So let's go ahead and jump into this. So I want to say that my rule of thumb when reading a particular chart like this is, or any astrocartography chart, mind you, is that we are really going to experience the energy of these power lines when we are living within 200 kilometers. We're going to really feel the full, well, not the full extent. I mean, the closer that you live to a line, the more strong that line, that planet, and that house and that sign is going to come out for you. But within 200 kilometers is where you really feel it. Anything outside of 200 kilometers is where it's kind of touch and go. You're going to feel it, but it's not going to be as strong. Now, that is my rule of thumb. Again, I've lived on 11 of these lines, and that is the theory that I have come to find in my explorative journeys in astrocartography on these power lines. Okay, so having said all that, the Sun Sextile Ascendant line, as I look on my computer here, it is 238 kilometers away from where I'm currently living. So it's about 238 kilometers east of the location that I currently reside in. And I mean, where I live is pretty huge. It's a huge state, okay? And I used to live further west, and I didn't feel any effects of the sun line. But then moving more east, I started to feel more effects of the sun line. And I'm glad that I did. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Now, what the heck is the sun line all about? So the sun line is essentially where, the sun is ego, is self-realization, it's courage, it's willpower, it's that confidence. That's what the sun is. Pardon me, my ring hit the desk here. It's confidence. It's like that, yes, that, the sun is shining on me. Think of Leo. Leo likes the attention. It's the attention of our chart where our ego thrives, our ego self-expression, where we can truly find our best self, okay? Now, the sun on the ascendant is, of course, we're blending in the first house and we're blending in the sun. And actually, Aries, which rules, the first house, Mars, is in exaltation when it comes to the sun. So the sun, having said that, the sun ascendant line is a more of an auspicious line, I feel, for anyone in their chart because of the correlation and the marriage of those two energies, the ascendant and the sun, and Aries ruling the first house, and the first house is the ascendant. And when you have a sun in Aries, you are an exalted individual. It's in its exaltation. So I feel that too with my experience here. I have had an exalted, auspicious experience. Okay, now the sun rules a plethora of things. The sun rules children. Like I said, it rules self-expression. It rules theater, drama, hobbies, creative, fun things that we like to do. And it also rules a very joyful and vitality, positive filled lifestyle, right? And so when you live on your sun line, you are more energetic. You could be more childlike. You are really wanting to go out and explore things. And the sun also rules the father. You might start thinking about the relationship that you have with your father. And as a woman, you may come into contact with men who remind you of your father, or who may want to be dominant over you like a father figure, for whatever the case may be. For men will identify the same way with their father, how their father used to act, and kind of mimic those characteristics of the father onto the outside world when dealing with people on an everyday level. Okay. And so, having said all that, these are many of the characteristics that I've been feeling on this line. Now, let's go ahead and jump into my experience here. Okay. Now, I've been living closer to my sun line since February. I moved more east and got a little bit closer to the sun line. And the way that my life changed was definitely in terms of business, right? So, even outside of astrology, I do love basketball and I love coaching kids. I'm not a professional basketball player, so I like to help the youth, the next generation get more confident in their basketball skills and things like that. So I'll say this. Prior to moving closer to my sun line, I was struggling with that business because, again, the sun rules children. The sun rules creativity and hobbies and teaching and being seen as a guru and being admired and having leadership and audacity and courage. Like, there's a lot of that Aries quality in the sun, which is why the sun is an exaltation in the sign of Aries. The nobility of character, being admired and desired by people in profession, children finding you irresistible. These are all things that happen on the sun ascendant line. Now, the sun is sextile the ascendant in my chart here where I'm at. Okay. The sun is actually square my ascendant in my natal chart, but I'm living on a sun sextile ascendant line. Now, how does this work? Now, I do experience 50-50 energy. 50% is good, 50% is bad. Now, if the sun was sextile the ascendant and the sun was all good, all up and down the chart, I would experience 100% pleasurable experience. But because my sun sign in my chart is afflicted, not only with that square to the ascendant, but with other placements as well, I have a 50-50 experience. It's not all wonderful and rainbows and sunshine. Okay, so let's go ahead and harp on the positive points. Now, again, I was able to revitalize my coaching business, coaching kids in basketball. I was able to revitalize it and get more clients within a month. Within a month, right? And it was no shock to me. It was one of the reasons why I moved east, more close to the sun line because of that. And also, too, I wanted to also experience a more beautiful lifestyle, like the place that I live in, more beautiful lifestyle and feel more taken care of, like a father would take care of a child, that kind of thing, right? I also felt like moving closer to the sun ascendant line would make me feel more confident in my business endeavors when it came to my coaching business, coaching kids and stuff like that. And it did. It absolutely did. It made me put myself out there and made me feel confident in sessions coaching the kids and giving them the drills that they needed and thinking of drills that they could do to become better, right? So all those things considered were very, very good. That's the 50% positive. Now, the 50% negative side of this line was that I did encounter certain men. I'm already dealing with Pluto, dealing with men as a woman and those power control dynamics. And then I got the sun in the sextile to the ascendant. But again, the sun in my chart is not, number one, it's in a sign of its detriment. It's a weak position for the sun sign to be in. And also, too, my sun sign is afflicted. It's not the most powerful planet in my chart. It's not the most, I won't say powerful, I would say it's not the most positive planet in the chart. And so I'm living on a line where the sun is not very positively aspected. And so I'm going to experience some negative sun characteristics. Like, I'll tell you this. There were times here where I felt like, again, power control dynamics with men, just trying to make me feel not as confident, doing little things to make me feel not as confident, or not feeling confident in the connection with other people, particularly men, because the sun rules the father, or maybe even women that were more masculine. Now, what I do experience on a day-to-day on the good side, let's go back to the positive side. I love this location. I love being on the sun sextile ascendant line. Even though the sun in my chart is not very positive, it is a pleasurable place to be. The sun line is where you're going to experience, it's a hot location. It's, discovering happy, positive, attracting good relationships with people. I do feel that people are more open here and not as closed off like they were when I was more west of my sun line, not in direct affiliation or energetically intertwined with that energy, right? So back to the negative, it's like there were times where people in my personal life exuded more of a power dynamic over me that I did not appreciate. Because again, the sun is squaring my ascendant in my chart, right? And so there's that blockage there where, I won't get really into that, but I'll just say this, that my work definitely succeeded here when it came to attracting attention, when it came to my basketball business, right? And, did it attract anything in my career? I would say probably not. The Pluto line is still working in that aspect. So I think because it's the ascendant and not sun sextile the midheaven, that's why, I feel like if it was sun sextile the midheaven, I would have felt, I already feel pretty famous in my career, but I would have felt like 10 times more famous. You know what I'm saying? But it's the ascendant. It's the first house of the self. And taking into consideration my rising sign, Sagittarius, being the teacher, being the leader of, maybe a university professor, it did make sense that I would be having more success in being a coach, right? Makes sense. You see how I drew the line there. I connected the dots there. And that's how you're supposed to connect the dots when you're looking at your astrocartography chart, guys, okay? So is there anything else I want to say about this? Yeah, I mean, I think I covered everything. It was definitely illuminating more of like more of a beautiful lifestyle as well, enjoying the fruits of that, and also having an uptick in my business that deals with coaching kids in the sport of basketball. And on the negative side, just feeling like there was a lot of power control issues that were going on in my personal life as when it dealt with my personality, just not coming into alignment directly with some people when it came to certain things and them wanting to have power over me. Again, with that Pluto aspect, that Pluto line still being present and me being more close to that line actually too. Living closer to my sun line, I actually get more closer to the Pluto line. So that also woke up more power and control issues on the more negative side. But all in all, very good line. I hope that I covered everything. Hope you guys understand that when you are looking to travel, you have to look how, if you're going to a specific line, planetary line, you need to look at how that planet is being aspected in your chart. And that's also going to give you some clues as to how things are going to unfold for you in that particular location. So that's it, guys. Be sure to drop down in the description box for more information on how to get in contact with me. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.